Hello, hello. Welcome to station WBMCT. Another week. We're running a little late. Had some technical issues here, and so we're on just a little late. And as always, just welcome aboard for anybody that's out there. I'll be watching this later. Generally, we start every Wednesday at 1:30 to 2:30, and we talk about domestic and international news. The topic for today will be reparations are well overdue, or should black people just forget about it? The topic board, we're going to pull out off of that subject, generational wealth. And then at the end, as always, for the last quarter of the hour, we talk about entertainment. And we have some good subjects on that. We're going to be talking about the poly market and gambling as far as betting on anything you want, even sports or, in this case, the war. Brother Bates, EB, what you got for us today on the domestic news and international news?
Well, it's almost like a laundry list, what they say, a melting pot. Just take your pick, in this society that we're in now under Donald Trump, domestic always turns into international with him. So one of the ones that we have is the drawing a blank, is the White House ballroom. Is that it's when it first started out, Trump said that he was going to build a ballroom, and he said a ballroom was going to be paid for by donors of people that's making donations that he have gotten it. And he also alluded that he would actually pay for it, have a part in paying in it himself, but we know that's not true.
That's laughable.
Yeah, that's very laughable.
Trump is going to help pay for the ballroom.
That's what he said.
Right.
He said,
That's a good
one. So
he
basically saying is that I'm going to take my own money and pay to have the White House updated. And to tie into the ballroom, we also go fast forward and talk about assassination attempt on Donald Trump last week at the correspondence dinner. The individual was caught, and I think it was one secret agent, special agent that he was shot, right?
For me, I'm still stuck on I can't get past a black man running past security with some guns, no shirt on, and he don't have a scratch on him. So you're gonna have to help me with that, brother. Yeah, you're right. The report is that whatever the reporting is, I'm just the black man is just stuck. I can't get past how this man is still living without at least 7 or 8 holes in him, or at least a black eye. Right. At the very least, he didn't even get a black eye. Right. Go ahead, brother. I can't contribute to what the so-called facts are.
Right, go ahead. Exactly. And that facts that he speak of is that I have a lot of questions. And I guess, in the media and all of people in the United States have a lot of questions about how that could even happen. If I think about the president of the United States and all those congressmen and all that's in that building, the way that the security was set up, they say like the megatometers. I guess that it's being said that this individual, he traveled from Los Angeles through Chicago, and I guess he said he took a train because of the fact that he wouldn't be detected. My question, this is one of the question that I have, conspiracy theory, is that he must have had a bag or something to come towards the building. It would be my thought is that that whole perimeter should be secure. And like you just said, when they showed that tape, when he ran through there, like CC said, that was a dead man.
Mm-hmm.
That was a dead man, and also the fact that he was black, that really.
Now, yeah, and so let me add on to that, and this is the problem I have with, like I say, facts. As you just said, okay, I can see him. Anybody can travel, and with weapons on the train. Nobody's going to stop you and say, "Let me check your bag." So that's all that stuff's a moot point. How you got there, and then even in the hotel, it's a moot point. As far as going in the hotel with guns. Okay, that's all. Nobody checks your bag. So that part I could see anybody can do that. The part that I'm having problems with this whole assassination attempt, it just seems like a WWE script. Because what I'm saying is the only video I've seen so far, I think they had some more come out today, was this grainy video of anybody running through the security. It could have been anybody. And you telling me in 2026, somebody is still doing 680 resolution in a hotel? That's 680 by 480 resolution. That don't even, I didn't even know that it even exists no more. And that's the only video they show us. And then they show the next video, the guy's face down. And so I was having problems with that. And then just a scene in the ballroom, which wasn't even near where the guy was tackled, so he never really got close to doing any damage to the cabinet members. But that chaos in the ballroom, that's why I said it looks like a WWE setup. The security throwing down the barriers and rushing the people. Hey, why
jump up on the table with the long guns.
Coming long guns, pointing at everybody.
Got the spotlight on. Yeah,
you got the media literally hiding under the table. Coming, who that guy? Jonathan Capehart from MS Now.
Right.
They got. That's an embarrassing shot. You peeking from underneath the table. I'm like, that is so embarrassing. If I got caught like that, looking like I'm going to have to see it. Looking a little skittish, cowardly.
Right.
I'm sorry. I just can't. Well, and the only reason I'm skeptical like that is because of the Butler thing, the Butler assassination attempt. Remember that? Right. And so now I'm still skeptical. I didn't kind of trend it over into this conspiracy. I'm in the conspiracy camp now.
Exactly.
Because I missed the Epstein thing. Right, I wasn't with the conspiracy then. Right. The Butler thing, I was laughing at the people. Oh, the guy got shot, somebody did. But now I have to question everything that this administration puts out. Every little thing. I'm not taking them on face value.
Right, exactly.
This is not your sane Justice Department. This is Trump's law firm.
Right. And the point that you made is that the theatrics that they had in the ballroom, this guy was on a separate floor. He never got up to the floor that they was on. And then they make the comment is that the president was thrown down. No, he was not. You can still see the top of his head. Somebody was in the audience there. You can still see the top of his head. So if he was thrown down, he would be flat down. And then he kneeled down, and the next thing you know, they walked him out. But they make it seem like it is such a.
I think Trump missed his cue because he was supposed to stand up. He was supposed to stand up and put that fist in the fight. This supposed to been fight.
You can't sell no T-shirt.
And so
and so can't sell no more T-shirts.
Because this would have been some more T-shirts.
Exactly, he ain't got the shot.
And so I'm just the skeptical guy. I don't mind people proving me wrong. But at this point, I have to see facts. I'm not just taking the government for what they say. And not at this point. Under this administration and beyond, I don't think America's going to. We are damaged as far as the credibility of the government.
That's true.
So that Trump. This is all the Trump effect, by the way. This is the Trump effect all the way.
And then we'll piggyback off that, and then we come right back to the ballroom. How is it now, 2 days? Because they always say that Republicans always take a tragedy and make it to their benefit. And now Lindsey Graham get up on national TV and said that that's all the more reason why that he should put forth a bill to pay $400 million taxpayers' dollar to fix the ballroom because of the security
Right.
of it.
And the word you're looking for, it made me think of was politicization. Politicization. They put
Politicized,
they
yeah.
put politicized. Thank you. I was having
Politicization,
they politicize everything. And by the way, when you were laying it out, was that the way it happened? Okay, you have the assassination attempt. Instead of Trump following up and talking to the nation to comfort the nation or to bring the nation together, he starts talking about justifying, okay, if I had had this ballroom, all this stuff would have never happened. Mm-hmm. And this stuff is laughable. And so you're right. That's why I just wanted to point out what you said. And then the way it happened, like I say, they politicized it to show, to justify this thievery. Yeah, right. This is just a money grab. Right. Believe me, this is a money grab. Contractors going to get their, well, he beats contractors out of their money. I don't know who the contractors are. But if you notice, though, that I saw King Charles come yesterday. Right. In the backdrop, you can see all the cranes going. Exactly. Yep. I mean, it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. It should be. And it should be that this man has moved into the White House. If he was a black guy, we'd be talking about Section 8. He done tore the place up. Yep. You know, that's what we'd be. If after Obama, y'all be talking about, look how them black people do. They just show up and tear the place up and tore down a whole wing. Right. You know, how are we going to get that back? Because you can't get it back. It's been torn down. And so that's all the Trump effect. And so it's embarrassing the king comes and you got construction going on in the background as if that's something to glorify. Because I'm sure he set that up. He wanted that noise so he can talk about this glorious ballroom I'm building.
Right. And the thing of it is that is the newest talking point. Because all over Fox, you know, Karen Levitt, his speaker, all of them are talking about the same thing. It's the ballroom. But see, now we ask the question. All those donors that's supposed to have been putting money for because, you know, original ballroom started out at $200 million. Then it went to $300 million. But then again, it wasn't something for us to be concerned with because it had nothing to do with us because all of his thing was being financed by his backers or his donors.
And I object. You object too? I object. I think it did have a lot to do with us because that's our money. That's taxpayer money.
No. Originally, it wasn't the taxpayer money. He's saying that it wasn't going to cost
I'm sorry. Okay, he's saying
that.
Let me jump in and clarify that. You're right. You corrected me. There was going to be private donors. Right. Comcast was the one right off the top of my head. Right. I knew they were going to be a donor. Corporate money was going to rebuild, but there wasn't corporate donor money that tore it down, right? And so even at this point, they're saying that's what Lindsey Graham was doing. He's talking about we need this money. He's talking about taxpayers' money. He's not talking about corporate money anymore. In other words, on the front end, you're right. They were talking about corporate donors are going to pay for it, but now we have progressed into taxpayers.
And that's what I'm saying is that Lindsey Graham got on national TV and now saying that he want to put forth a bill that it'll be paying for it. And the reason why it will be paid for by tax dollar is because it's providing security for the president. But then again, my question is that money that's supposedly already been in place, where's that money? That money that come $200 or $300 million.
That's a good question, brother. And we had to break time right now, and we're going to come back because we never did get to the Comey thing. So we're going to kind of bleed over into domestic because I really want to touch on the Comey charge of assassination attempt. I don't know what that charge is, but we'll take a quick break, coming right back at you guys.
All right.
back. Welcome back. We had a little subject that we didn't touch on domestic news, and I think it's worth taking a minute out before we go into our topic to discuss, and that's the Comey charge. Comey, who used to be he was the Attorney General.
Director of FBI.
That's right, the Director of the FBI. Now, we need to know a little history about Comey, because at the end of Obama's second term, Hillary was running for president against Trump, right? They were like in the 2 week last of the 2 weeks, and then Hillary was blowing them out in the polls or thereabouts. And it was Comey against the advice of the Attorney General, who was a black lady. I forget her name. It was the black lady who was the Attorney General that told Comey very well, this is not a good idea for you to bring up this email investigation again, because that's been squashed. Comey didn't even, just disregarded the Attorney General, because I think she had recused herself for some reason for something and that involving that, but he was in charge. And he went against the FBI's directive. Basically, he inserted himself into the election, and the rest is history, because when he brought up those emails again, that's when that little tide changed, and that's how Trump pulled it out to beat Hillary. And that's what so that's your introduction to Comey. In fact, if you recall right, when President Stupid got in office, that it was Comey who shook it. He called Comey, was kind of hiding in the background. Said, come over here and shake my hand. I got some thanks for you, bro. You did a good job. Now, Comey didn't know how to take that. But in a way, Trump perceived that he was helping them. So I just wanted to give that. And so now Comey, here we are 10 years later or whatnot, Comey finds himself being harassed or targeted by the president of the United States for prosecution. And they've tried to charge him before, but this time it's really serious that what was that number, 486 or
86, 47.
86,
47.
Okay, you go with that. What was
that?
This is what Comey put, the picture that Comey posted on in the airwaves, and everybody saw, and go ahead, you help me.
I'm saying I just caught on to it yesterday. I was traveling, and I was just listening to the radio show to understand it, because I wanted to get a visual picture, and I seen on TV last night, is that 86-47 is that the 86, what I'm told, is a restaurant term, mean to cancel the order.
Okay.
Yes, so that means to get rid of it, to cancel the order. That's what the 86 stand for. And then they're trying to tie in that the 47 meant he's the 47th president. Now, let's back up just a little bit to the point is that they had this conservative guy that said 86, 46, and that was for Biden. Now, the same thing as you getting ready to come into to talk about, them bringing that charges is that, so that same thing is that if you're gonna bring that charge against Comey, this guy, this policy, he should be charged with the same thing, because he was saying the same thing about the president. But the 86-47, they saying that he was saying that he wanted the president to be assassinated, which is not true.
Right, because we're dealing with slang, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's all it is.
Right, and it's just open for interpretation.
Open for interpretation.
It's called freedom of speech.
Right.
Last I checked. Now, because I remember, and I can't remember the lyrics in this totally in the Snoop Dogg record, or it was some rapper that did a 187.
187 on those. Yep.
Undercover cop,
Undercover
right?
cop,
And that's why I was like, okay, now that means murder, right?
Yep.
Murder. That's a cop code for murder, right?
That's it.
And so that's a little bit, even though Snoop never got charged with it, I mean, that's not, to me, it's just, like I say, that's art. And he's telling the story. Yep. He's telling the story that 187 on the undercover cop, the cop got killed, right? And like I said, I can't understand the rest of it, because the rap is kind of hard for me to follow sometimes. I'm old school now. You can bring some Cool Mo D and Cool Mo D and tell the story for me. I can understand. But as far as some of the rap, I can't understand. But I can understand 187 on the undercover cop.
Right.
And this ain't nothing close to that lyric.
And then you can also, like you say, it's laughable, because Coleman didn't even put the shells in the sand.
Yes.
All he did took a picture of it.
Yes.
He took a picture of it. But then again, they took that. But then again, that's just how, corrupt and undermining these folks are. That anything, because you know what the end of the day it is, what it's tied into? Todd Blanche is campaigning for the Attorney General job. Like I say, all of these conversations that we have about the domestic, one thing you can always tie it into is that they all are campaigning for an audience of one.
Right.
And that's Donald Trump.
Right. And that's so unfortunate for America that, people will sell out of the country for power. It just speaks to where we're at right now. I'm an optimist. I really feel that, once the Democrats get back on their feet, that there will be a day of reckoning. I'm hoping. You got any, in my estimation? You got anything to add to that before we go
and on the tail end of that, I've heard buzz in the air about Congressman Raskin, is that he's saying is that it should be a talking point for the midterm.
Yes.
I don't agree with that, but that's a whole other story about that they're going to impeach Trump. I don't feel that we should walk down that rabbit hole.
Okay.
I mean, because there's so much other stuff. There's so much other stuff.
I've heard that too.
Yes. Okay. So
I've heard that.
And I hope, as a Democrat, that you don't blow this.
Right.
Don't blow this.
Not that I agree with that, because I think we can walk and chew gum at the same time, and so But anyway, we're going to transition to our topic. Reparations are well overdue, or should Black people forget about it?
I say they should forget about it.
Okay.
But then again, we're talking reparations, so you go ahead and give us,
good.
your
All right,
spiel.
and then I'm going to look at the definition. Reparations are the act of making amends for past wrongs, injuries, or human rights violations through financial compensation, restitution, or symbolic actions like apologies and memorials. They aim to repair the damage done to groups, often involving land access, education, or monetary payments. And I think if you look at the definition, everybody has gotten something from in America, I'm speaking. Well, your Native Americans, that might be arguable, but they got...
They got casinos, but go ahead.
I feel embarrassed even saying you said it. I didn't say it. But
I'm saying,
but they got something.
They living the dream, man. I'm telling you.
All right. That I won't even. I'll put them in the reparations column too, with Black people. We'll just put us two together, the Native Americans and the Black people. And the Black people are due because of what I'm thinking. The 40 acres and the mule was. It was an act in Congress, or was a bill, and then the next president came along and killed the bill. I forget who it was, but I'm still with the reparations because our situation will not get any better. It's going to always be because we're America's boogeyman. Anytime you want to scare white people, you run a news clip on the evening news, and that'll kill any kind of positive notation that Black people are due for some type of repair, because there's some serious damage for what has happened to us in America and is happening, and you can't deny it. And I don't know what to say about it. That's just my opinion as far as, and if somebody wants to email us and let us know what their opinions are. I know there's still reparation groups that are working still on this process and still on this questions. Should Black people get reparations? I'm saying for sure they should, because we're talking about generational wealth. We had at least 4 generations of our ancestors, who worked without adequate compensation or any compensation. If you were a slave, you didn't get any compensation. Got a bucket of chitlins maybe. But, that wasn't compensation. That was just something to have you work in the cotton fields, give you some energy to work in the cotton fields the next day. So I still feel that that's a legitimate question. And I think that Black people should, the leadership should be calling for that right now. You got the right man in office to to make that argument. You got the grand dragon of the KKK. That's who you should be talking to. I think take advantage of the opportunity because you get another, like I say, somebody like a weak president that, that, like I say, we always get pushed to the side. But I'm thinking that because of the racist environment that we are in today in America, this is the exact time to be talking about reparations. And I'm aware that the Supreme Court just damaged some more civil rights, voting rights, and all that. I'm aware of that. And so that's why I say now is the time. We should always is the time, really. But I think that we should be on it. But go ahead, give me your feedback.
Well, to answer your question, the president that killed it was Andrew Johnson.
Andrew Johnson?
Andrew Johnson,
Okay,
that's the one that killed it.
are you sure?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, I thought it was a... go ahead.
Andrew Johnson is the one that killed it. My question that I would ask that most folks, at one time, not knowing that much about it, reading up on a little bit about it, I say, that make 40 acres and a mule. Okay, that makes sense. But if you look at it, you in your eyes, are you saying that you feel that you are entitled to have reparation? Okay.
Yeah, I'll use the word entitled. Okay. I like that word.
Okay, so if you think about it, most of the folks that suffered through that is no longer here, but you're saying that their descendants should be afforded what they did not get in their lifetime. That's what you're saying, right?
And that's exactly what I'm saying. Because of that damage that our ancestors wasn't able to pass that wealth down that they would have gotten working in the cotton field.
They had.
Yeah. And then the continuation of beating black people down, to deny them opportunities, continued on well after slavery. Jim Crow continued on.
Right.
So and even up to this day. But go ahead. But you're right. I confirm what you said.
Right. Yeah. And say because one of the examples is, golly, man, I'm drawing a blank. In Oklahoma.
That's right.
Yes. Okay. Now
the Tulsa massacre.
Tulsa massacre. Excuse me. My thing on that is that was something that it actually shown that they physically went into those towns and killed all those people so they could have those. Now that I would say is something that they should be reps because it's something that clearly was taken from them. Yes, there's land that black people have owned, slavery. Even in Louisiana, I knew this, and this is in the 60s plus, is that she owned land from here all the way to Gurney Mill Mall. And her husband died. And then she started drinking, and then they beat her out all of it. Now, if you go in the city, all of the, they got shopping centers. Just think of that, that would have been something that her descendants would have had. It's so many, tens and tens of millions of dollar value. So that is something also that I say that they should receive reparation. But for the
before you move on before that, because let's make clear what you just said. Now you're saying in Tulsa that's a direct steal or direct damage, which they had. Maybe one is still living up to recently. They had a number of at least three people from that massacre, and you're saying they were directly damaged because their parents lost their homes, lost their businesses. Their parents did. Is that what I'm understanding?
Parents you correctly? And they was living when it happened.
Yeah, at least three of them were.
Right. Three, so I'm saying that they was direct, and and so it might sound like that I'm saying, okay, well, they don't owe us nothing. And that's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying, I guess what I am saying is that, like I said earlier, the entitlement is that how would you go about determining, because it's some black people that got their 40 acres in a mule. So what do we do?
Well, I didn't know that.
It's plenty of.
But they didn't have to buy it. Did they have to purchase it? No. That's new to me. But go ahead.
No. What I mean, 40 acres and a mule to me is a literal term.
At this point,
right?
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm saying that's the way that it's spoken. That's the way that it's received. What I'm saying is that those people some people that did well during the Jim Crow era. Some blacks.
Black people.
But I'm saying, but it was just hit and miss. But I'm saying, but that don't take away from the facts of what you feel the title does. You know, and I come on this line is that the same way that we talk about reparation for 40 acres and a mule is that the same way I feel about how, you know, the Jewish people feel about the Holocaust. That's just, you know, because they feel like that was something that was done to them that is in repair. Because if you look at it, it's to make people whole.
That's right. That's right.
And do you feel that if you receive reparation that you will become whole?
And as an individual, probably not. But we're talking about as a people.
Right.
And in fact, you in the argument of, let's just say for the sake of, and we got to take a break here.
Right.
For the sake of argument, what it sounds like to me you're saying is that, let's just say for the sake of argument, you got we're past the point and we're saying that they're due. Is that what you're saying? The argument sounds like to me you're saying you're going with, okay, how do you dispense whatever money or whatever the repair is? How do you dispense that amongst 20 million people, African American people? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I'm saying.
Okay, we'll come back.
Kind of, sort of, yes.
Yeah,
yes.
We'll come back after break,
okay.
and we'll wrap that up, and then we'll go into. We already really touched on generational wealth, and then we'll end the show with entertainment.
Okay.
So we're gonna take a quick break. We'll come right back.
Okay.
And we'll continue on with that.
All right.
All right, we're back. Continue on with the subject. We were just talking about reparations and so forth, and the topic board kind of ties into what we were. If you look on the topic board, we got generational wealth up there, which you already spoke about, and I just want to point that out that was on the topic board, and a lot of things on that topic board still relate to generational wealth, and so But you want to continue. You were saying that I think we were in the point where the process. What would be the process if we did go through? If America accepted that black people are deserved reparation, what does that look like? And I think that's where you were going with it.
Right. Yeah. What does it look like? Because that's why I asked you the question: do you feel that you are entitled to be represented? And you stated very clearly that you do. So I asked, I forward this question to you: is that when we had the war with Japan, all the Japanese Americans that was here, they was put into an encampment.
That's right.
Right?
That's right.
Later on in life, they were received reparations.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? So,
right.
So it is. But then again, I guess that's a smaller group of people. Maybe that's what it is that they saying from what I've heard said about it, that if they did reparation and they provided reparation to all the African American, it'll break the United States.
Oh, please. Oh, please.
I mean, but
I'm
that's
glad
what
you
I'm
brought
saying.
that up. But I'm glad I know
Okay.
you're not saying that, but I'm glad you just said that out loud.
Right.
That needs to be said out loud. Because all you have to do is figure out in this war how much we spend a day.
I got you. Yeah, I believe that.
All you have to do is just do the math on what we have blown in this war a day. And you can do a fraction of that and repair or give reparation to every black African American in America. I'm just give what let's say if every 20 million African Americans the descendant was given $1 million, so to speak. I don't think we'll come up to $1 billion, or do you? I don't know. I haven't did the math.
No, I'm saying,
but I'm just saying we're blowing through money. Look, we send Israel $50 billion a year.
No, I'm
pocket change.
What if I'm not the enemy.
What if you put $50 billion in the education department every year for black people? That could reparations could look like that. Educating black
college,
people. Yeah, I mean, just give them good high schools or good schools, good training schools. Yeah, but we've been left. Some young black kids can't even barely read grade level. I mean, we're in the bad shape, and all this is tied to racism and the black experience here in America, which is ongoing, and in fact has gotten even with this dummy in the office. You know, it just I don't know. Well, at least the whole America's feeling the pain now that black people have felt for 400 years, but. I'm just saying, I never heard that said out loud, but I'm glad you said that out loud. That you know,
well, like you said, and that's a good return response. Is that you're right? Is that because you know the money that is being sent to other countries is that, like you always say, take care of home first. That you know, even though he's a Republican, I'm a Democrat. You know, he says America first. And, you know, people go less on what you say and more on what you do. And your actions is not showing that. You're not showing. And that's why that, you know, the issue that he's having in his party is because that even those folks are saying, you know, that's what you said, but that's not what you're doing. Right. You know, you're not doing any of the things that you said that you're going to do. You know, you're going to lower prices on when? Day one. You're going to stop a war. When? On day one. No, but let's go further. You didn't stop a war. You started a war. Mm-hmm. And so I would ask anyone. I've looked over it, you know, went online, did it. I'm trying to find where I can't even find 5. He said he didn't end at 9. So, you know that if it wasn't so serious, it'd actually be funny.
Right. Yeah. That's you hit the nail on the head. Some of this stuff is actually comical. I watched the president speaking one night. I was laughing hysterical. This has been some time back. Right. You know, it was funny to me because he was so disoriented and it was wasn't making no sense. And I just thought it couldn't happen to the worst guy. You know, yeah. And so, but you know, after you think about it, well, that's costing me, as you just said. We're talking about generational wealth. Now, this is where the maggots have gotten upset. It's finally hit them in the pocket. Yep. Them gas prices hit everybody in the pocket. And if you're living on a certain wage for a year, you didn't put that in your budget, $5 a gallon for gas.
Extra $1,300. Huh? Extra
$1,300
a year.
A year in gas, right?
Yeah.
You didn't put that in your budget.
Nope.
I'm talking about the maggots now. Now all of a sudden it hit them. Now the orange Jesus ain't Jesus as much as he used to be, right? They're getting ready to take him to the cross, or they already have. Right. And so because now it hits you in the pocket, so now you might can feel what it's like when your money get in, under the table, stolen from you. Right. In this case, he's just stealing it out front. Now, all this war and all this stuff is a wealth transfer. The tax cut, that's a wealth transfer. When you can't get your child tax credit, or you can't write off your house mortgage and this and that because some rich guy needs a tax break. So you got to pay for that. That's a direct reach into your pocket. And but black people have been dealing with this for 400 years, what I'm saying, but now it's become an American problem. In fact, I always say, for me, I feel this is just what America needed. This is America, what black people have been seeing for 400 years. This idiot, who all he's doing, down to the wars you were talking about. Vietnam was in my time. You know, people coming back from the Vietnam War all busted up and damaged. We spend, who knows, ungodly money over there. And for what? It's the same thing. They're right on that. And that's why I say the maggots, if they just take a breath and take it and breathe for a second, they will see that we are all in this thing together.
Yeah.
This is my money too.
But,
this ain't just your money. It's everybody's money that he's blowing like a drunken sailor.
And that you're saying the maggots. And then
I'm sorry.
I agree. Hey, you trust me. You ain't taking that. I'm saying, but those, and then the one that they call the followers, is that those folks now, they're upset because you've identified it yourself. When you went to the No Kings March, how many African American did you see there?
Yeah, it wasn't that many.
It wasn't that many. It's because on the other side, the black Instagram is that they're saying this ain't our fight. Is that we didn't bring this on. I went to the No Kings March because I don't want no king.
That's right. I hear that.
You've heard that too, right?
I've heard that.
Yes.
How does that make you feel when you hear that? This ain't our, in your opinion, is this our fight or not?
But see,
or is that just the wrong question? I mean, a fight is I don't know. How do you feel about that statement?
Well, when in hearing it is that, I was surprised when I heard it. I'm like, what do you mean it's not our fight? It is our fight, because at the end of the day, if he become king, you're going to be affected. Just like you said, the maggots now are feeling the pain of Trump being in office, because they're like, oh, that's them. That's over there. But I'm saying, but the last thing that you want to get caught up on is thinking that that's theirs, because if you stand back and let them take care of all that on their own, you'll see what the results are.
That's right. I hope, man, I'm from Mississippi.
I'm from Louisiana.
You know how to pick cotton?
I don't know how to pick cotton.
You're going to be out of job, bro.
Is that them black jobs they talking about?
Yeah,
okay.
that's the black job.
Yeah, okay.
So, I'm sorry, you better, but that's what you're talking about, the end result. For us, I'm saying it's certainly our fight. It's everybody's fight. It's just, how could, personalize it, but I would say it's more black people don't show up. I really feel there's a fear factor maybe built in, or I get it that they're probably hurt that the black and brown coalition let them down, and maybe they feel like I'm not going out there for the brown people when 40% of Latinos voted for Trump. That went up. He went up a big, significant percentage. And I thought we were all black and brown were down for the same plight. And I always said, personally, that the brown people don't want to have nothing to do with you black folks. Y'all, they don't want to have anything to do with you. You guys crying black and brown. Every time I turn around, I see a black person talking about black and brown. Their plight is not your plight. It's not our plight. That's what I said. We're talking about reparations. We've been here 400 years slaving where we at in the cotton field. There was plenty of space then. This black and brown stuff. No, I'm not down for that. Not that I'm against them. Like I say, I don't have to be against anybody to be for somebody. And I know that for me, I know that reparations or compensation for damage would go a long way in repairing what the damage has been done. Not that you can undo the damage, but at least we can go forward with a better country, because we've come to the epitome of the empire. Most empires don't last more than 300 years. We're right there. So this might be, it's talking about our fight. It might be a case, we don't know what this is going to look like when the dust clears now, especially if we don't get past the midterms. If it's not successful, which I feel if we get there, we'll be successful. But you get my point. It ain't going to be nothing to, I don't know, those big buildings those concentration camp buildings, they're not for immigrants. And so if you think they're for immigrants, I got a bridge to sell you in Brooklyn. And so I'm just saying that it is our fight. And we should be. And to me, there should be more black people on the protest line. Because I just feel like that.
And you're right. And that's, don't believe it just for the brown people, because at the end of the day, is that they are saying that prisons are overcrowded. And now this is the part that they built it. No, I was feeling you when you said, I like, wow. And I said, that makes sense. I say, because they're building all of these camps. And then now that prison is overcrowded, is that now they got their own prison already built. wires around fence because they think they making it seem that it's for the immigrants.
It's not.
It's not.
No.
Yeah.
And I think everybody's figured
Don't
that
believe
out.
the hype.
Yes. And I think Americans are, quote, woke now. And I think they're figuring
a
out.
good thing.
So we got to take a quick break. We'll come back for the next 10 minutes, and we're going to talk about entertainment. We're going to talk about the poly market and gambling. Be right back. All right, we're back. We're back with the entertainment in the last leg of the P-Funk here. We're going to talk about poly markets. And this is new to me, but evidently it's a way of gambling on anything. And of course, a soldier has just been recently arrested because he gambled on if Maduro would be in charge at a certain date. I'm not sure the details of, but what he did do was bet on war. And it's kind of sleazy. I think it's just kind of cold-hearted. But that's where we're at right now. You got any? I want to hear what your comments is on that. Yeah,
Well, is that?
And do I have the facts right on
Yes,
the poly
yes,
market?
poly market. Yeah. Bet on anything, and the one thing that just like CC was talking about is this army person that was part of a team that was going to arrest Maduro, and the bet is that would he fall and would he be taken in, and him working in the U.S. government and working on his special team, he knew that he was going to be. So he betted $33,000 and he made $400,000. Now, poly market was not able to be in business under Joe Biden. Poly market came to be after Trump became because you know, like the Republican Party is a party of no regulations. They don't want to be regulated. They don't want nobody telling them what to do. So they are approving. So that's the same way how crypto was strained out under Biden. But when Trump got it again, Trump benefited from it too because he put.
Then what did you say about the Republican Party as a what?
I said the Republican Party is a party of no regulations, no rules. They do not.
Okay.
They don't like being regulated. Period.
Oh, okay. I always consider them as a criminal organization myself. But if you want to give them that high that credibility,
see, if I want to
continue. I didn't mean that. Just
no, that's fine.
As if you. Really? But go ahead. Okay.
No,
they don't like any regulation. They don't like.
Exactly.
That's why you have all this pollution in the black communities. Generally, I know Memphis is a recent one, and with the data center. I assume it's emitting some type of atmospheric poison, but just where they put it at tells you, most likely it's emitting some poison because it's right next to the black area. You know, it's not neighborhood,
right?
And generally it's in Memphis, and generally black people don't have that type of political power, nor do sometimes we just don't have that gumption, that go get 'em to go out there and stand up against power.
Right.
That's probably been lost since the 60s, where we come together because we've been so diluted. Right. I think that kind of hurts us too in our organization because we kind of diluted. You got the rich. That's why we call the show middle class. You got the upper class. Those are the ones you see on TV most of the time. And I put Whoopi Goldberg in that The View. I watch The View every now and then. I see that I see their points of view on the view, and it just kind of, you can tell they're a little careful. Like I said,
they have to be, exactly.
7 figures, so
right, exactly.
I can understand it. I agree with it. The one black lady, she apologized on live TV because she said Trump was a rapist. And then they made her apologize right out the break. It's like, well, I thought that's what the judge said he was.
Right, exactly.
I didn't know that you had to apologize for what the judge said. Maybe she should have just cited the judge said. And he did penetrate it. When you read the complaint, it's in there. I mean, the thing went up in it, hey, that's rape to me.
Right,
and
exactly.
I was just saying that. Go ahead, but
it's just sad is that in this society today, and the reason why it is that this thing is so popular is because of, once again, Orange Jesus. Is that these are just some of the examples. They will bet if there be a shooting, they will bet how many people die.
Oh my goodness.
I'm just saying it's just crazy.
Yeah,
I mean,
the
sky's the limit. And then, you think about betting, like we was talking about poly market, it's just one part of it. Then we talk about betting as a whole. NBA, NFL, now gambling is a big thing.
Yes.
Because, you got all these stars,
it's internet too.
It's internet. So now that it's such a wide open market, is that you're going to have that, you know what I'm saying? So now, because I'm telling you, I look at games, basketball games.
Yes.
And I look at some of them players, and I say, I know that dude can shoot better than that. You know what I'm saying? So now you are.
And they actually got caught.
One of them did, in college. Most of them college. It ain't happened in the pros yet.
Yeah, you got caught yet.
Yeah. It has happened.
Young people, let's get the young people. Young people, call the young people in. We need to get young people. We got a phone call, bro.
Okay.
We got a phone call. Hey, pass those young people in. Let's see. They say that has happened in pros.
I haven't heard that.
Young people, y'all online.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure it has happened in the pros. I think in the NBA, I know Gilbert Arenas, he got caught up with some type of gambling case, some type of RICO case.
That's right. Thank you, young people. Thank you for chiming in and correcting us on that, because I do remember that. Gilbert Arenas is and it wasn't only Gilbert Arenas, it's a whole Chauncey Billups. Yep. Chauncey Billups was in it, remember? And so I'm just saying that.
No. We got to keep the facts straight.
Correction.
Chauncey Billups, what he got caught up in?
What?
Is that Chauncey Billups was inviting people to card games. And he was bringing them in, and they was playing in games that had marked cards. So in other words, it's almost like CC is my friend, is that I pull CC, hey, CC, you got this game going on. And so, you go with me. And they sit there, and you lose $100,000, because the cards are marked. But then again, they pay me for bringing you there. So I'm talking about in the NBA, right. I haven't heard about.
As always, young people always give us bad information. But that's fine.
That's the one.
We don't have to close the line off now. Right, we had an open line for the young people. They didn't spread some young already out the bus. We're getting bad information.
And also, do you remember that referee?
Yes, I do. Some time ago.
Some time ago. So it's always been right on the edge. And then we go to Pete Rose. It wouldn't have been a bad thing if Pete Rose were betting on another team, but he was betting on his team. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of hard. But I'm saying I've seen in this playoff, and I ain't going to call no name, but this last game that this dude had, it was horrible. And I mean, the shots he was taking.
What team, may I ask?
Detroit.
Okay, I know.
You know who I'm talking about. It was just, and so now with these betting and all that, man, I'm just saying,
suspect.
It's very suspect,
Yeah, it's unfortunate. So that being said, since you transitioned to sports and that's entertainment, the poly market, did you have anything else to add?
No.
Okay. And because I wanted to, before in the last 4 minutes that we have, I wanted to talk about the basketball. Since you brought it up.
Right.
And one particular team in particular, I just want to point out as a good conversation piece, Embiid for the Philadelphia 76ers. It appears to me, now you're a sports guy, it appears to me that every year I've seen Embiid, and I don't follow like you do, but I haven't seen him do a full season. Yeah, am I wrong?
No,
And
you're
it appears to me that he usually comes in around playoff time. You know,
Right.
all of a sudden he's all healthy. Yeah, and then when he gets out there, it seems to me that the team was doing very good before you showed up. In fact, they got in the playoffs without you. It appears to me. And then you come in, you have a different style altogether. They got to wait on your big butt to, get down, and then you're going to shoot a jumper. Well, I thought that was a guard's position. You're supposed to be under the goal. You're 7'2". That's a monster, and you're out in the perimeter shooting 3-pointers. Yeah, help me with that, brother.
Well, when you said that, I was like, I went to another player. But anyway.
Well, he's in there too.
You know who I'm talking about? When
Wemby.
When you said the big man that out there shooting 3 points instead of being under the basket.
Yes.
Oh, there we go. The young folk called. I heard the young folk. I heard the young folk
called in.
That was a good. Hey, that
Okay,
he gave valuable information with that one.
Okay.
Is that Cat Williams, but Cat Town.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, but Embiid, my thing with him is that even when he's in there, he ain't no dominant. He is not no dominant player to me. He ain't dominating nothing.
I agree.
You know what I'm saying? And then, like you said, you dominate the inside, and then you can go out and shoot 3-pointers.
That's right.
But I'm saying, but you ain't even controlling your own area.
And I think the coach has a lot of responsibility here because it just caught my attention. He's been out half the season. He comes back. He's in the starting line.
Yeah, I won't agree
I
with
just
that.
totally disagree with that. How did that just totally
But
destroys?
you'll kill his ego.
Huh?
You'll crash his ego if you don't put him in
What
there.
about the team's ego?
I get
what
that.
What about the guy that got you in the
that.
playoffs?
I get that.
I just bad coaching there.
Okay. So good that we got this good conversation going.
We've got 2 minutes.
Yes, got 2 minutes. John Starks, New York Knicks,
Okay.
in the finals
Okay.
against Houston.
All right, refresh me.
Yeah, New York had been back and forth. This one game, I think it was Game 7, is that John Stark game was garbage.
Okay. I think I call that.
But they did not. And see, my thing is, I say just like you alluded to, is that your game ain't here now, and that's like I said. If they take Embiid and don't start him, his ego be so. Whenever you put him in there, you ain't gonna get nothing out of him.
Yeah.
That'll be my opinion.
Yeah, well, what you get out of him is a good trade. That's what I would recommend. We're down the last 45 seconds.
Right.
Any,
Okay.
any input or anything?
No, like I said, once again, always, like I said, we here every Wednesday at 1:30, unless something else come up, but we're gonna try to make that to be the standard. And appreciate you coming out and listening to us and checking us out. And we'll see you around. Come in and enjoy the conversation.
And let me add for everybody to always hit the subscribe button. Please share our website. Our YouTube channel. We do have a website. I'm not prepared to give the address right now, but email us at bmctusa@gmail.com. And you can even be a guest. We'll Zoom you in on any subject. So we appreciate, as always, you guys joining us and help us out, subscribe, and everything. As always, the ancestors would tell you, always, always do the right thing.
Peace.